So then it's not necessarily, in my head, I'm like, well, is it an age thing? Like you get to a certain age, but it mostly has to do with the capital that you have. So if
Correct.
let's say you have, $300 to pay off your home and you have $300, then don't do it. But if you have $600, all of a sudden, maybe it's like once the numbers start to.
Yeah. And that's where like one of the things.
At what point on a 30-year mortgage, your first 5 years, you're not paying anything towards your home.
You are very
you're
little.
Not. You're paying,
There's
the
always
majority
some
of that
principal.
goes to
The most of it goes to interest, for sure.
And the bank fees and all that.
Well,
but
in my world,
isn't that more like the first 20 years?
Right.
It's only like the last 10 years you actually start paying down the principal, like reasonably.
Well, that's why in my world, I'm thankful.
So that's a waste of. Well, it's not a waste, but it's a portion of your money that you never see anyways.
So. First of all, there are amazing products like the all-in-one loan. That's actually a principal paid first mortgage. So there are mortgage products that are not that way, that you can have, that you can still access the equity in your home. So that there are other things. I agree with you.
They're
30-year
not the standard things.
No.
Yeah, but why would a lender ever do that? Like give you the chance to pay off principal first before they took their cut? It just seems like an interesting business move when it's mostly the other way.
Yeah, because
you know the answer to that question.
No, why would a lender would want to get their money first, right?
And most of them do.
Yeah.
And so they love to keep you in the 30-year. No, he's asking why would anybody do the all-in-one? Why would a lender do the all-in-one?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I thought the question was why would a lender allow that?
Yeah, no. Why would they do the principal first mortgage?
I got you.
Yes.
I got you.
There are not very many who do.
Yeah. But it's cool to know that is an actual option out there.
Yes, it is a proprietary product by CMG Home Loans that came out in 2005 and got a patent in 2009.
Okay.
And is revolutionary.
Yeah.
And it is. And it's because it's the right thing to do, honestly.
Yeah.
With banking relationships. So there is that. The other thing you have to look at, though, even if you're paying interest, so when you're looking at any time you're paying interest, right? Mm-hmm. And I agree. That is one of the things I tell people all the time. My gosh, look, 3%, a mortgage over 30 years, even at 3% is an insane amount of interest.
Yeah.
Insane. And so that's why I'm thankful that we have other options like the all-in-one loan where you don't have that effect. But the same time you have to look at the fact that highest and best use of cash and cash flow, opportunity, cost of money. So compounding interest works both ways. There is a compounding down effect and a compounding up effect. And so if you are investing money, like one of the things that's crazy, when you could get a 3% mortgage, it was kind of free money because like right now, people paying extra on their 3% mortgage, you could make 5% on a money market. If you're paying extra to that 3% debt, you're saving 3%. But if those same dollars could be earning 5%, well, you're actually losing 2%.
So I believe that is a solid point. Yes.
Right. And so obviously it's rate. You always have to look at rate. If you had to take up that 30-year mortgage at 10%, oh my gosh. But if you could, get that at a 3% or depending on the product, an effective percentage rate of 3%, now what else could your money be doing? And one of the fun things in my Borrow Smart presentation, like all the different resources I have, is actually an illustration of showing opportunity cost. $400,000 house. Person has $400,000 sitting in savings. They use it and buy the house. But it was their savings that they want to replenish. So they figure out what a mortgage would be. And just for the sake of all numbers being even, we use 7% all the way around. Mm-hmm. 7% loan. Or 7% was what a 7% loan on that $400,000 would have been $26.61 a month. So cash flow neutral, they're going to go ahead and pay back to their investments $26.61 a month.
Right, they're taking a loan from themselves.
Correct. So they're paying back their thing. They're invested that amount of monthly savings they found somewhere they can make 7%. The other person says, I want to keep my $400,000 invested, and I'm going to get a loan for all $400,000. Cash flow neutral. They are setting aside $26.61 every single month. The person who had gotten the mortgage and left their $400,000 invested for that entire 30 years, end of 30 years, they both have free and clear homes. The person who had gotten the mortgage had $657,000 more than the other person with the same investment rate, because all of that money being able to accrue versus the other one amortizing down was better off by that amount of money. So that, I'm never going to tell, like I said, always it depends. I'm never going to tell anybody not to pay off their house, because whatever. I mean, if that works for you and it makes sense, for sure. The only thing I ever want people to do is truly pull back the aperture and look really big picture and look at all of the options you have and then make those decisions. Because what I see a lot is people just being so hung up on that they're doing that to their own detriment, and all of a sudden they get themselves in a terrible position because they've been so hyper-focused on that they have put everything into it and now have themselves in a place that they aren't safe.